Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am so happy to have a conversation with actress, writer, and director Dakota Gorman. Dakota has guest starred in shows like Teen Wolf. She wrote the horror thriller movie Aftermath. She wrote, directed, and acted in the movie All About Sex. And most recently, she directed the thriller The Girl in the Pool. Thank you so much for being on my show. I'm so excited to talk with you.
Same, the feeling's totally mutual. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's get started. So, who has had the biggest impact on you professionally?
That's hard because I think there's a lot of artists and just a lot of people in my life that influence different aspects of how I go about things. I really, really admire my friends and other filmmakers who kind of take the reins and go, okay, I just want to make something. I want to experiment. I want to get creative. Let me grab a camera. Let me go do that. Um, or just, don't rely on a lot of like budgetary stuff to make the product they want to make. So like Harmony Korine, watching how he just like gets behind stuff and makes those movies and um the Anne Lupo, I believe her name is, who did In Reality. I think she made that for so little and just like so that stuff always gets me really excited to jump in and create something.
Oh, cool. I love that. Yeah, so who has had the biggest impact on you as a person?
Hmm, that's tough. Probably my mom and my brother, just because I spend so much time around them. And my mom is one of the most encouraging people I think you'll meet if you knew her. So she like I think she just has like a really unique perspective on life, and even when we don't see eye to eye, like she gives me space to like be who I want to be, and so
Yeah.
I think that that's really special.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, my mom and my sister are like my best friends, and my mom is um uh, kind of the same way. Yeah, she's just the best.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's hard to put into words, It's
Yeah.
just like when you're around
Yeah.
someone every day, it's like it's so hard for them not to influence you. But I
Yeah.
come from like a very humorous family, so they're always like
Yeah.
making fun of me, my brother especially. So
Yeah.
it's nice to be like humbled by that and not take
Yeah.
anything too seriously.
Yeah, definitely. Um, what are people surprised to learn about you?
That's a good question. I haven't asked anyone. I should ask people this week. Um, I think people are surprised when they find out I am much quirkier than they anticipated. When I first meet people, I'm very observant. I like to focus in on them. I like to understand who they are. And it takes a while for me to really open up. And then when I do, I feel like it's just they're like, oh, you're a 9-year-old. Like, where is this coming from? So I feel like that would be probably accurate.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Um, so what was your favorite childhood book?
There was this really weird book that I barely remember anything about, but I remember loving it. And it was called Wayside School Gets a Little Bit Stranger. And I must have been in like elementary school, like second or third grade. And it's just a really bizarre book. And I don't know. I don't know. I love weird stuff. And
Yeah.
so I think that that's it. Like all the books I would read would be like The Stinky Cheese Man, like really random stuff.
Oh, I love that. Um, do you have any irrational fears?
Yeah. Bees and wrongful incarceration. I the idea of going to prison for something that you didn't do, I think that's a very valid fear. I think it's irrational for me to probably have that fear, but it is horrifying. And a bee, like I'm not allergic, I just don't like them. I don't like them. I will run so far so fast.
Yeah. I hate bees.
Okay, we're not
So
alone in this.
yeah, I'm not, and especially just I have this one memory of like with my mom that I was with a friend of mine and there was a bee and we were terrified of being stung and my mom was like, if you just leave it alone, it'll leave you alone. And then it landed on, she wasn't doing anything and it landed on her thumb and stung her. And then my friend and I just ran inside.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's already not leaving me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one time I was with my mom somewhere and I was telling her a story and she was like, "Uh-huh," and she like grabbed her purse and just like smacked me in the face with it. And I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "There was a bee just crawling across your face." No, absolutely not. No. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
glad we relate on this. I hate
Yeah.
them so much.
Me too. Yeah, I think we both could just like swap entertaining stories about
Oh
our
yeah.
families.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom and my sister and I just have there are several conversations we have that we're just like, thank goodness nobody is around to hear us because it's
Oh my
totally
gosh. Yeah.
insane.
I love that.
Yeah. Um, so what is the biggest challenge you have overcome?
I think I've struggled a long time with perfectionism
Mm,
and learning to really truly embrace imperfection. And I think that that's something that's really easy to like understand theoretically of like, yes, the
yeah,
mess is the beauty and but like fully living by that is another thing. And that's
yeah,
like a daily practice that I put a lot of effort into because ultimately we all know perfection doesn't exist and even our idea of what we
yeah,
want rarely exists. And I think if you can make your journey as fun as possible, knowing it's not going to be what you want,
yeah,
like that's the joy for
yeah,
me.
yeah. I definitely I love that. I agree with that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Aside from the perfectionism, probably I was diagnosed a little bit ago with ADHD, and that's like something I had no idea I actually had. And I think that there's a lot of people who probably do have some form of that. But I've realized now that I'm aware of it, it gets challenging for me to be fully present at times. So that's something I really am working on as well, of just taking a breath, taking your time, not get swept up in the adrenaline of things.
Yeah.
And it's made my life much more enjoyable now that I have the awareness around that and can kind of navigate it with some tools.
Yeah. Um, what three words best describe you?
Mm, I think loyal, creative, goofy.
Oh, I love those. Yeah. Yeah, so what, no matter how many times you see it, always takes your breath away?
Ocean. Yeah. I love water. I don't spend a lot of time at the beach, but when you just see the vastness of that and you're a part of it, but it's also such a mystery.
Yeah.
I yeah, I love it. It's
Oh.
yeah, that's my answer. The end.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love yeah, the ocean. California is my favorite place in the world. So,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. LA specifically.
Oh, no way. Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I grew up on the beaches of LA, so I think that too has like a
Yeah.
nostalgic factor for me. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
very, very close to my heart.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Um, so what lessons from your childhood have most impacted your worldview?
Lessons from my childhood. Be kind to others. And I think when I say be kind, it's not be nice. It's
Yeah.
be genuinely kind. Everyone is going through something. And I think we all have moments where we can get really frustrated with other people, whether it's someone close to us, not close to us. But if you can channel empathy and just come from that place and not feed into any sort of negativity, that I think is a good peace of mind for everyone. And I think it lays the foundation for hopefully other people to do that in regards to other people they come across. Um, but my mom's always been really big on, you can, it's one thing to be nice to someone's face and then rude behind their back. Like, how do you
Yeah.
want to be? What kind of person do you want to be at the end of the day? And so I
Yeah.
always try and lead with like how I make people feel and to know that I see and acknowledge them even if I don't agree
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah, my mom has taught, yeah, me and my sister similar things.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I heard something described once uh that life is like a line and there's always 2 points to a line. And
Yeah.
one side is like a good feeling side and one side is not. And they're always there. They always coexist, but which side are you going to focus on?
Yeah.
And that takes, interactive effort for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Um So I am pop culture obsessed and I go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching. Is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
Okay, there's three shows I rotate between that are like my comfort shows, and none of them are current, but Seinfeld, Friends, and Sex and the City. And I'm like a little bit embarrassed about the Sex and the City one, but you know what? It is a comfort show. So
Yeah.
anytime I'm like, I just want to feel like I'm alone but surrounded by people I know, I'll put one of those shows on, depending on like the mood I'm in.
Oh yeah. I love that. Yeah, I have a list of like different comfort shows that I rotate between.
What's like the first one you think of?
Um, well, Friends is one of them. And then Will and Grace.
Oh, yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good one. I haven't watched that in a while. I should
yeah.
revisit.
Yes, I am obsessed with both those shows. And Will and Grace, I think I know. I don't know. I like have watched it so many times through both Friends and Will and Grace. I just quote them constantly.
That's the best, but it just brings like comfort to your heart, I think, when you have a show where you're like, I
Yeah,
can put this on at any time.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, and there's so many times like my best friend will be talking and I just like will quote Will and Grace to him a line from the show and he has no idea what I'm talking about because he's like a big he's an actor and loves movies and so he watches a lot of movies but not a lot of shows so he and
Mm.
most of the movies he watches, I've never seen, so it's like we never really know what the other one's talking about.
Yeah.
So,
No, I love that. Like
yeah.
with my coworkers, every time we're together, we're like, this is the Seinfeld episode where we
Yeah.
always like compare our lives
Yeah.
to that. It's just so relatable. I think that's why I love those shows is even when they're like
Yeah.
so far from reality, there's still relatability to it.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Um, so what are the songs that make you sing along whenever you hear them?
Hmm. Maybe closing time.
Oh.
Um, yeah, or like almost any third eye, definitely Blink 182. Like I think anything from like the 90s, early 2000s, I'll always catch a wave with those kinds of songs.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, for me it's like I don't know, there's so many artists that just put them on, I will just start singing. Um, and even though I can't sing, um, it- Ben Platt is one of those artists.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's just, I think it's, yeah, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I love karaoke. It's very
Yeah.
cathartic, so I
Yeah.
always switch it up there, but I don't like sing a lot. I listen to a lot of podcasts more than music.
Oh,
Yeah, but when those songs come on from my past, I'll always sing along to
yeah.
those.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there's some songs that like come on that I haven't heard in several years and still I know all the words to.
Mhm.
Um, so
Yeah, those are the songs that I always sing along to. Perfectly
yeah,
said.
yes. Um, yeah, so what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
Chai tea. I love chai tea. Um, anything that's like if I walk by a park and it's just like really green and nice out. This isn't every day, but I love rain when it's rainy. I like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I my cats. How did I forget that? I have two cats. They bring me so much joy every day.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I have a dog and she's sitting right on the couch right next to me
Oh,
and she
so
brings me so
cute.
much joy.
Animals are the best. I love them so
They
much.
are. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Oh, and I just at the beginning I mentioned Teen Wolf. I have two Teen Wolf posters behind me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is another one of my comfort shows. So
That was a good show. I haven't watched it since it was like active, but I remember like being obsessed with it.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was so good. I watched it all um for the first time a few years ago, and then I've just rewatched it multiple times since then.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. How do you keep yourself motivated on days you aren't really feeling it?
Exercise is definitely one thing. I think that a lot of times our internal state is when we're not like getting whatever hormones are released from like physical activity. So I
Yeah.
think that is really important. Um, and sometimes it's like, have you ever watched Twin Peaks?
I haven't.
Okay, the original Twin Peaks, Agent Dale Cooper has this line where he's like, give yourself a little gift every day. And I think that that's true, but especially on the days when you're feeling unmotivated, there were so many years where I was like, okay, I need to force myself to work. I need to force myself to be productive. When I'm like, you know what? It's okay to not do that right now. Like maybe I need to find inspiration instead of motivation and like go get out into life in some way and give myself something that's gonna like
Yeah.
make my heart feel full for the moment.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
What about you? I'm curious if I can steal
Oh,
something from
yeah.
you.
I don't know. It's on days like if I'm really not feeling well, I just take the day and watch one of my comfort shows. Um And then I like am motivated by like I set a goal for myself, and if there's like something I really want to do, like I or make happen, like I will work towards that.
Hmm.
Um so I don't know, yeah, that's like if I have a goal that I'm working towards, like that really helps.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What shows do you find yourself quoting more often than you would like?
Probably Friends. I've just seen it so many times, and I can hear myself when I bring it up, like, oh my God, you're really gonna bring this up, Dakota, but I do anyway. So that
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
problem that's not gonna go away.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I yeah, it's not yeah more often than I like because I always love quoting it is yeah, Friends and Will and Grace and then there's just like shows that like I just recently was talking with my mom and my sister and made this reference to a show that I've seen but they haven't seen. So I was like, okay, this I had to tell them this was not as random as it seems.
And then you made them watch the entire series.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. I just, yeah, I love having those things that just bring so much comfort and just constantly quoting.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, my favorite quotation is change the world by being yourself. Is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
There is, and I don't want to not do it justice, so I'm gonna look it up. Oh my gosh, what was it? Um, I don't even know where. Oh, this is gonna upset me if I can't find it. Uh, but it was something about growth and like how it looks like destruction for people who don't understand what growth looks like.
Oh,
And I thought that that was really beautifully said.
yeah.
Uh, and I wrote it down and I don't know where I put it now, but uh, here we go. For a seed to achieve its greatest expression, it must come undone. The shell cracks, its insides come out, and everything changes. To someone who doesn't understand growth, it would look a lot like complete destruction.
Oh, I love that.
I'm glad you like it. And I think that that's so beautiful because we see growth as something positive, which it is, but the journey is very painful sometimes
Yeah.
and very disorienting. And to acknowledge that piece of it, I think it helps bring acceptance and love into the parts of our life that can feel very toxic at times, or at least just unnerving and, you know, rough.
Yeah, definitely. But I love that quote.
Oh, good. I'm
Yeah.
glad.
Yeah, I might steal that if you're
You
okay
can
with
have
that.
it. I'll send it to you over email.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a beautiful one. Um, well, that was my final question for you. I would just love to keep talking with you. This
I
is
know that went so quickly. You're so easy
yeah.
to talk to, and I appreciate you
Thank
making this
you.
just like so fun and personable.
Thank you. Yeah, I so
Yeah.
appreciate you also making this fun and I think you're so easy to talk to. So, of
Thank you. I genuinely appreciate that.
course. Yeah, actually I just had one quick thing to tell you about aftermath. I remember I watched that with my mom and one of my best friends, and we watched it, and like it was so good. And then
Oh, wow.
afterwards, we loved it. And then also afterwards, my mom and I were both like so creeped out.
Oh, good. I mean, that's the
Yeah,
joy of a horror movie. If I can creep people out, you just gave me
yeah.
a huge compliment.
Yeah, I there was like one scene of it that stuck in my head for like weeks after we watched
What was
it.
it?
When the guy like under the house, when she's under the house and he like
Mhm.
comes up to her, um,
Oh, yeah.
and I could not get that out of my head for the longest time.
I love hearing that. I'm so glad you shared that.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I like the next morning I did not sleep at all that night. And then the next morning I had an appointment at the hospital, and my mom and I were both just still so creeped out and tired because we did not sleep.
I'm sorry.
No, no. I think you did a good job.
Thank you. No, I definitely have those movies like with my mom. I think there was, I don't know if you've ever seen No Vacancy, but we lived in the desert at the time and it was like this remote hotel gets like infiltrated on and we were like, "Did you lock the door? What was that noise? Did you?" And so I totally know where you're at and it's like the best and worst feeling to be afraid.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, one of yeah, my best friends, he loves horror movies and he's trying to get me to watch more horror movies, and I keep telling him I can do thrillers, but I cannot do horror movies, and I'm not gonna like make myself watch them. 'Cause-
That's fair. That's fair. If you're gonna be traumatized, then don't watch them.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm like, I'm gonna stick with my thrillers that I know don't creep me out.
Perfect.
Yeah. Or even if they do, I can still sleep afterwards.
Yes, that's fair. That's a fair
Yeah.
expectation.
Thank you. Yeah. So, and The Girl in the Pool, I love that movie. That's one of my new favorites. So,
Oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to film, and I'm just appreciate that everyone came up and like just played and
yeah,
didn't take it like make it more serious than it needed to be because I think
yeah,
there is a lot of fun in the movie too. So I'm
yeah.
glad that everyone saw that and participated in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's such a good movie.
Oh, thank you. You're like making my whole
Yeah.
week. You should come hang
Oh,
out with me and
thank
just help
you.
me feel good about everything.
Yeah. Well, talking with you is making my whole week, so thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, well, again, it was just so much fun talking with you. I've had the best time. I so appreciate you taking the time. So thank you.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thank you for reaching out. I really am so glad you did.
Of course, yeah, I thank you for responding. I'm so happy
Yeah.
that yeah.
I'm surprised I knew how to. I'm never on Instagram, but I figured it out.
Yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too, and I'll send you that quote, and
Thank
I'm
you.
sure we'll talk soon.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I would love to stay in touch and have you back on whenever you wanna.
Anytime, absolutely.
Thank you. And that's a wrap on today's edition of The Latest with Maya.